Hey everybody, it's Christina of CraftyPaws. I am so excited to finally be able to share with you guys my Christmas puppies wreath project all completed. I have spent the last couple of weeks off and on coloring up cute little puppies from MFT and Mama Elephant, and I've had so much fun Copic coloring each one, designing each little scene for each component of this wreath. And finally, I had a chance to put it all together just before leaving on our Christmas vacation down in Florida. So without further ado, this is how I created the base. I had a piece of foam core left over from other projects, and I took a pot lid and traced around it with a red Sharpie marker. I chose that just so that you guys could easily see it rather than me doing it in pencil or something like that. You see here, I'm cutting it out with an X-Acto blade, and the blade popped out, but I just popped it right back in, and the paper from the foam core kind of stuck together in a couple places, but it was really easy to cut away. And that is the circle base. And I'm just trying to find the center of this circle so that I can create a hoop out of this circle. So that's the center. I just lined it up with my cutting mat. And then as you can see, the ruler here has a little hole, and I'm just taking a pen and trying to trace around where the 12 centimeter mark is on the ruler, because I just want enough of a hoop or a wreath form so that I have a place to adhere all of the little puppy components. Now I'm going to cut around this inside circle with the X-Acto blade again. And of course, this doesn't have to be pretty because it's all going to be covered up, but I wanted to show you guys the whole process so you could do this really easily. If you don't have foam core, you could use cardboard or any other kind of really stiff paper. And I laid out all the puppies in the order that I wanted, and I knew that I wanted the four largest My Favorite Things or MFT puppies in the four corners. You know, like if it was a clock, it would be at noon, 3, 6, and 9. And I wanted those to be on top, and then the little puppies between the main big puppies. And I am just trying to space it all out. And I'm just using wet glue here, directly adhering it. And as you can see, I'm trying to move the little puppy circles off and then put them underneath the big puppy circles. And the spacing is not exact here, but you know, I don't think anybody will really notice when they're looking at the wreath as a whole. It's just going to look like a whole bunch of cute little puppies. So I am thrilled with how this all came out, even though some of the little circles are a little wonky. And as you can see here, I ended up with too much space here on the right. So I am lifting up the little Snoopy dog at the bottom, pushing it over to the right a little bit. The same with the little puppy with the holding the card. And so I'm just shifting them over just a tiny bit, and I'm still ending up with a little bit of extra space. So I've lifted up the puppies on the kind of 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock positions. And it tore the foam core paper a little bit, but it's all going to be covered up, like I say. So this is really forgiving in terms of placement, especially when you're using wet glue. I wouldn't recommend using hot glue because that sets so quickly, but with wet glue, you have a little bit of wiggle room time, and that's the main form of the wreath. I really like how it came out. And then I had all of these little die cut circle pieces, kind of leftovers from cutting out these frames. So I had more frames, the larger ones from the smaller frame cutouts. And then I also had circles, the inside of the smaller frames. And so I decided I was just going to embellish the wreath a little bit more. I decided between the two little puppies adjacent to each other, it could have behind the foam core. So there's a little bit of dimension there. There's probably about 1/4 of an inch thickness between the circle and loop that's kind of showing, that I'm placing between each of the two small circle puppies that are adjacent to each other. So you can see I've got 3 of them put into place there, and then off camera I did the 4th one. And then I decided the wreath needed a little more sparkle. So I die cut out from silver glitter paper some even smaller circles that I thought I could inset into the red circles. And there was plenty of room because I'm having it inset so that I didn't have to, again, lift up the circle and the loops away from the foam core base. And I'm just, again, adhering this so that each of the red circles has a little sparkle to them. And I think it also adds a little bit of extra interest and dimension. The wreath by itself, without these extra embellishment pieces, I think would still be really pretty. I just think it adds a little extra something something by adding these little circles and loops. I could have finished right at this point, basically, with the 12 o'clock position circle finished up there, so that alternating, I have a circle with a silver center, or a next hoop with a circle with silver center. But I decided I wanted all of them to have that little extra something and more dimension, so I added the kind of larger loop surrounding all of the circles with the silver centers at the 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock positions. And I think now the wreath looks really full and much more complete this way. I'm doing the last one there at the 12 o'clock position. And that's the completed wreath. I hope you enjoyed this series. If you enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and happy holidays to you and yours.